Hi there. I'm here to talk to you today about studying geography at GCSE. I don't think there's ever been a more important time for you and your child to study geography. With growing interests and global matters changing all around the world, from climate change to new social structures to coronavirus to air travel plans to the economy collapsing, all these different things, they're all answered in geography. I think it's the most relevant course you could possibly study in school. Geographers are also very, very employable. They have one of the highest employment rates of any graduate. So I think it's a really robust subject to use moving forward. I'm going to try and answer some questions that I think often pop up. Is geography the right subject for me? I think it is if you are hardworking, ready to learn, ready to earn a grade, as well as you just have an interest in the world around you. If you have an interest in the world around you, geography is the right subject for you. Will you find it interesting? Well, firstly, I think yes. But secondly, I think there's always something for everybody when it comes to geography, whether you're into rivers and rainforests or coral reefs and climate change, or whether you're into urban development and poor and rich countries and economic change. There's always something for everybody. I'm going to tell you about the topics later on in this presentation, so I'll tell you all about what we study at GCSE, but they're very wide-ranging. You do get to go on trips. There are 2 compulsory trips that you have to go on for GCSE, one to a physical environment like a river or a coastline, one to a more urban environment. And then as a result of Mr. Parker coming in, we're going to be doing a lot more field work. It's going to be a big part of our new GCSE. You do not have any more coursework. Coursework is no longer a thing at GCSE Geography. It's a very academic subject in that sense. Instead, you will have exams at the end. So in May and June of Year 11, you will have 3 exams, one about the UK, one about the world, and one about skills, which I will talk about later in this presentation. Will you find it hard or easy? That depends. Most people are naturally quite talented at geography in this school because you've been taught well for the last 3 years. However, if you don't work hard, then yes, you'll find it hard. So if you mess about or you don't quite come in all the time, I think that's going to be an issue for you because there's a lot of content. But if you're in school most of the time and you work really hard, I think you'll find it really, really easy, to be honest. And are you torn between geography and history? Well, you shouldn't be torn because firstly, they're very different. And secondly, it doesn't have to be a straight choice. You can do geography and history. I obviously think geography is far better. I think it's much more forward-looking, and I think it has a lot more to offer you in the future. But at the same time, you can do both if you need. So, whatever your passion is for the world, I think geography encompasses it. Whether you have a fascination with landscapes and the physical environment, or whether you're interested in how humans are starting to take over our wonderful planet, I think geography will give you loads of knowledge and transferable skills that will reward you personally, as well as across all your other subjects. In what other subject do you get to study politics, economics, history, chemistry, biology, politics, physics? All of these things come into geography in such a natural way. It is a choice that you have to make, and I believe that this would be the right choice for you. I do believe that geography is a really, really important subject. It's robust. It's academic. It's a one-of-a-kind subject. It covers everything, which is why I think it really helps you in your maths, because it has graphical skills in it. I think it has English-based skills. Okay, I think it has a bit of everything for you. The trend of results in geography has gone up and up and up in the last couple of years. It's one of the most up-and-coming subjects in this school. We're almost up there now with some of the best grades you can get in this school, and I think you should be a part of that. It's always changing, it's always adapting, it's always new, because new things are always occurring in geography. So in terms of team geography, we've got me, Mr. Nichols, who's the subject leader. You've got Mr. Parker, who's in charge of fieldwork, and you've got Mr. Willis, who's an assistant head teacher. There may be more to come, as this is an up-and-coming and growing department. It's a really exciting place to be, and I think you need to be a part of it. In a nutshell, geography is through themes. Okay, so we're studying the OCR exam board, and there are 3 exam papers at the end. Okay, so the UK, the world around us, and skills. And I'm going to talk about them for about 5 minutes now, so that you know what you may be studying in the next 2 years. Firstly, living in the UK. It's assessed with a simple 1 hour exam, 60 marks, 60 minutes. In section 1, you will focus on the geographical matters regarding our country. You'll study seas and water that surround us. You'll see how we've developed over time and how our weather and energy systems impact us. To know where you're going, you must know where you've been. Okay, to get around this world, to travel around this world, you need to understand your country first. It's really important. Topic 1 is landscapes in the UK. Okay, so this is a very physical geography topic. Okay, it studies things like weathering and processes and coastal processes and river-based processes, the hydrological cycle, and how all these systems are very, very interlinked. This is the foundation. This is the hard rock foundation for what you need for the rest of geography. Once you've studied about coasts and the ocean and the rivers, okay, we move to a very human-based topic. Okay, and here we look at the people within the UK. We look at imports and exports of the economy in the UK and how the UK's economy has grown over time. We look at urban developments across the UK and how places have grown and how places have maybe declined and why. We look at the population of the UK and the impact this has on the country. Okay, we look at urbanisation. We use Manchester as a case study. Okay, we debate about things like HS2 and other really important cutting-edge modern things that are happening right now. After this, okay, we look at the environmental challenges that are faced in the UK. Okay, whether that's how air masses affect our weather, why it always rains in Manchester, why the weather systems are the way they are. We answer these questions. We look at fishing, farming, and reservoirs in the UK and how these can impact us. We even go up to reservoirs and see them. We look at renewable and non-renewable energy sources, and hopefully one of you can be someone in the future that finds a better energy source for us that doesn't pollute our environment, but that is sustainable for all of us. And that's paper 1. Paper 2, now we go global. Okay, so again, it's a 1 hour, 60 minute, 60 mark exam. But in section 2 of the GCSE, you look at global scale issues. Okay, here you'll study large scale ecosystems, developed and less developed countries, and you look at climate and weather, but this time on a planetary scale. Okay, and we start here by looking at ecosystems of our world. And we look at the global distribution of ecosystems. Where are the savannas, the polar environments, the coral reefs, the rainforests, and why are they there? We look at tropical rainforests and coral reefs in particular, okay, and we focus on their processes and the creatures within them. We then move through to the people of the planet, okay, and here we go again, very urban, like the people of the UK topic, but this time planet, on a planetary scale. We look at uneven development and wealth across the world. We look at the development of cities and slums, and we look at low-income countries like Ethiopia and how they differ to ours. Okay, so we start to study all these different places, India, Australia, South America, Ethiopia, all these different places that we can study. We start to look at their social constructs and how they're different to maybe Manchester and Stockport. And finally, we look at the environmental issues surrounding our entire planet, not just our country. We look at long-term theories of climate change and how our planet has evolved over time and how it orbits the sun. We look at atmospheric circulation, so how air moves around our planet and how tropical storms are formed. We look at the El Nino and the La Nina phenomena, as well as long-term climate change and what we can do in the future to stop it. Finally, we have a geographical skills paper, and here is a 1.5 hour exam this time with slightly less marks. Here, a student has to show the opportunity to show everything they've learned over the last 2 years. We use things like map skills and graph skills. Okay, through unseen content, you might get given something on a poor and developing country, or you might get given maps or graphs or anything. You have to answer questions based on unseen circumstances. You have to be able to think on your feet, which some people are really good at. That means there's also less revision because you only have to revise for 2 papers, not 3, which is really good. And better than some subjects whereby you'd have to revise for all 3. Here in section B, we look at fieldwork. Okay, so we go to a physical environment and a human environment, and we collect data. Okay, we get out there, we go and see the world. Okay, and this is, I think, really important. Let's get out of the classroom. Let's go and see what we've been learning. Let's go and see rivers and coastlines. Let's go and see cities and how they're developing. And we can draw up data, draw up graphs, and analyse their trends. I think you can do it, okay? And some people think maybe they can't. I think there are people here that may may think they can't do it, and you can on a few bases. One is your attitude. Do you have the right attitude to study geography? One is your work rate. Do you have the right work rate to study geography? Is your behaviour at a place whereby you're going to be accepted in our geography classrooms that are some of the highest standards in the school? Your effort and your desire. If you have these 5 things, then you can come and do geography, because we guarantee that we can teach you how to be an amazing geographer. Career opportunities, there are loads. We could talk about whether you want to get out there and be an expedition leader, an engineer, a human rights officer, town planner, a pilot, a coastal engineer, whether you want to work in earthquakes and volcano predictions, or to be quite frank, whether you want to work in absolutely anything. Because geography is such a wide-ranging subject, the career opportunities are endless. I think geography really opens your doors to all different kinds of jobs, okay? And geography is more than just a place on a map, okay? Gone are the days where we study maps and pictures. We look at real life things. I've been to lots of these countries, and until you start to study them and understand them, you won't see or really understand just the forever changing and adapting nature of our world. And I think you need to get out there and see it. And I think the best way to get out there and see this world is to study it first. Okay? Thank you for listening to this, and I look forward to working with you. If we ever get back to school, my door, as you know, is always open to come and chat. But whilst we're not there, feel free to email me if you need to know anything at all. My email's at the bottom of this presentation. It's jonathan.nichols@wernethschool.com.